us today. So awesome. So there's, I know probably quite a few of you, that are planning on doing completely online classes this year. So this is super exciting for you guys. And also for those of you that are interested in coming, attending this early to be able to get some information and also get everything ready to go before the rush of registration day, that is absolutely fantastic. As before we really get started though into the bulk of the information, I would like to do some introductions here. So the first introduction I would like to present is the Dean of Business, who oversees all of our business programs, is Brad Onofrichek. So Brad, I'm going to pass the time over to you.
Thanks, Brandy, and thanks for that excellent introduction. I'd like to welcome all of you. Brandy mentioned that some of you are online fully and some of you are face-to-face, and some are taking a mix of online and face-to-face courses. In all cases, you're new to Lakeland College, whether you're taking your program online or face-to-face, you're a new student and we welcome you. I want to extend a warm welcome to you to the college. We've been preparing for you our facilities for those that will be taking face-to-face classes, and faculty has been working diligently on those online courses to be prepared for you this year. We've also been working on strategies to help our year to be safe for those that are face-to-face. I encourage you to follow safety measures as we go through this year so that we can have a fun and a safe experience together. I thought I would share just briefly, because you're going to hear a lot of kind of advice and things today, but I held consultations with several corporations this summer, executives from directors all the way up to CEOs. And one of the questions I asked them was, what are you looking for in a Lakeland College graduate? And the answers varied. There was always a unique kind of spin, but there were certainly several themes or common messages, and I thought I would share those with you as you begin your program, because I think if you start with what the employers are looking for in terms of capabilities, I think it will help you as you dedicate yourself in selecting your classes and what kind of projects that you work on, your groups as well. I think all of it can certainly help you to prepare to meet the expectations of the employer at the end of the day. And I do recognize some of you may be interested in starting your own businesses. This advice applies to you as well. So in each and every call that I had, it was mentioned that we're looking for people that are flexible and adaptable. At the best of times, you would be tested in our programming on being adaptable and flexible, from the variety of programming to the variety of instruction styles that we offer. And this year, we may be tested a little bit in adaptability as far as the health and safety piece goes. Second kind of theme was problem solving. They're looking for problem solvers. And so as you look at theory and go to your classes and are involved in different activities, problem solving is and will continue to be a very important part of a business graduate. Another one was tech savviness. Now, they weren't asking that you become programmers, unless that's absolutely what you want to do in your life. But to have some familiarity with programs like Excel and Word, and Google has a variety of options as well. The last one, and it's certainly not the least, is the soft skills in general. So communication skills with others externally and internally, and presentation skills are certainly at the top of that list. So that's kind of the message I wanted to leave with you today, although I do want to share a quote that I think rounds out this advice that I was given by these executives. The quote comes from Stephen Covey, a business leader, author, or a leadership author. And he says the difference between people who exercise initiative and those who don't is literally the difference between night and day. And I can tell you that if you show initiative and demonstrate initiative, life can be a bit more fun as well. So I encourage you to look for those opportunities. I think that rounds out and maybe even summarizes the advice that we were given from these executives. So I welcome you on behalf of Lakeland College. Wish you all the best this year and during your program. I hope that we can connect at some point, maybe even today for some of you that are coming in for visits. But wish you all the best. Enjoy. We've got a great lineup of facilities and faculty ready to help you out, and we are very interested in your success. And so enjoy and have at it. All right, Brandy, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brad. I super appreciate it. All right. The next person that I want to introduce to you guys is Ben Acquay. He is the chair of business. Ben, take it away.
Well, thank you very much, Brandy, and welcome every one of you here to early bird orientation. First off, a quick acknowledgement that Lakeland College is on Treaty 6 land. And actually in 2017, we raised the Treaty 6 and the Métis flag. 2017, we raised the Métis and the Treaty 6 flag, and we do a lot to support Indigenous students and every other student learn more about our history. Now, I have the pleasure of leading perhaps the most amazing faculty in the college. We have the most diverse, the most international, the most, I dare I say, friendly and fun faculty that you would find anywhere this side of Edmonton and Saskatoon. So you are definitely in the right place when it comes to good quality classes, innovative projects, and a lot of student support. Our instructors have very innovative projects to challenge you, projects that we know employers want you to have completed prior to your studies finishing. Our focus is on you developing and sharpening your skills. Brad offered a Stephen Covey quote, and I'd offer this one with a source unknown, and it says, leadership is not about titles, it's not about your position or any of those. It's about one life influencing another life. When you come here as a student, you have an opportunity to influence other people, to sharpen your leadership skills. And we will give you multiple opportunities to do that. How do we do that? We do that through our innovative group projects. We do that through a lot of extracurricular activities that the department supports. We have tax clinic if you're into accounting. We have the concession when you want to learn about small business. We have other events like the Women's Conference that our students have helped organize. We have the annual Alberta Deans of Business Case competition, where we put together an amazing team of students to go show other colleges that even though we may not be as big as them, we are definitely better than them. We also provide you the opportunity to practice your public speaking, and it gets better. We give you lunch and refreshments and dessert just for free, all in the name of helping you develop your public speaking skills. We will do everything to help you achieve these. I'm going to invite my faculty to speak shortly, but I want to end by again mentioning re-echoing some of the things Brad said earlier. One of the important skills we want you to develop and sharpen is analytical thinking and innovation. We trust that you have experiences And we want you to bring your experiences into the classroom because college values those experiences. Active learning. You don't only learn in the classroom, you learn outside the classroom as well. And I want to see your leadership in full display. And finally, I want to see you display your complex problem solving techniques. Come to me, come to any of the profs with ideas, because we want to see ideas come out, grow. Sometimes they fail, but it's better to try and know it fails than not to try at all. And so it's my pleasure now. Brandy, should I turn things over to you, or should I bring my crew to say a word or two? To Brandy, well, folks, it's been a pleasure talking to you. You've made a great choice, an excellent choice at that. Welcome to Lakeland College, and especially welcome to the business department. Brandy, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, I was basically just going to do the same thing. So now we actually get a cool opportunity to meet some of our instructors today. So I'm super excited to be able to introduce them to you. So I'm going to give everyone a small little minute to be able to say who they are and talk about themselves and what they teach and maybe some cool facts about themselves. Angela, I'm going to start with you.
All right. So hello, my name is Angela Manish. I teach a few of the first year courses like Business Communications 1 and 2, as well as Organizational Behavior, and a lot of the second year marketing courses. So for my piece of advice for you guys this year, you're all business students, I would say treat your studies like a job. So whether you're doing a certificate, diploma, degree with us, you're here with us. So for this whole year, studying is your job. So make sure you make a concerted effort to come to work on time, make the best use of your time while in class, schedule in all your appointments and assignments and group projects, be kind, courteous, and collegial, just like you would in a professional setting. And you know, if these things, they don't come naturally to you, just pretend like your paycheck depends on it. Because after all, the skills we learn and practice today will influence the way we think and the way we work tomorrow. So let's have a fantastic semester. I'm so excited to be with you guys. Some of you online, some of you face to face. We're going to have a great year and a great time. Thank you so much for choosing Lakeland College.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Erin, I'm going to pass the time over to you.
Good morning. My name is Erin Bandola, and I teach for first year courses. I teach Math 101, and I also teach Accounting 2. So for those of you who are doing face-to-face, you may get me this semester for math. And those of you who are online, you will see me next semester for Accounting 2. And I'm excited to get to know you, whether you're in face-to-face or online. So that kind of leads into my advice for you this year, whether you're online or face-to-face. I think it's probably more important if you're online. And that's to stay in regular communication with your instructor. So if you're in class, that's going to be a little bit easier because you're going to be showing up and you'll have an opportunity to ask questions and connect with your teacher in class. But if you're online, if there's something that you don't understand, if you are falling behind and you need a little extra help, then I would encourage you, rather than just going silent and ghosting the class, it's important to make sure that you reach out to your instructor. There are a lot of resources available, whether that be tutoring, whether that be accommodations and different things that may be useful to you. Your instructor will be able to help you, guide you to what the best resource may be for you. The other thing that I think is important around communication, Ben did mention that we have Synergy Speakers Corner, and a lot of our opportunities are easier if you're on campus, but something like Synergy Speakers Corner is an opportunity for you to get engaged online. So we will be setting it up so that you can participate if you're an online student and aren't able to come to campus. And just keep your eyes and ears open for other opportunities like that, where you can get the most out of the opportunities that are available to you this year. So I wish you all the best, and I'm excited to get to know you all more.
Awesome, thanks. All right, John, I'm going to turn the time over to you.
Okay, great. I'm using some new speakers, so I hope they work. Hi, my name is John Turvey. I teach economics, but I've been given the opportunity of teaching some additional courses, management information systems and case studies. So I'm very excited about that. But I'll get to know pretty much all of you through our either online or hopefully face-to-face. I'm so excited about returning to the classroom this semester to be able to see you and to be able to rejoin my colleagues. I've just been so thrilled. I'm just thrilled and energized whenever I get here and start talking to with my colleagues, my fellow instructors, and the administration, and everybody is just so excited about this year. We're so enthusiastic, and we hope you are too. Now, in economics, I'm going to try and help you make sense of this world as we see it and put it in perspective for you. I think by the time it's all done, you'll find a lot of positive stuff coming out that will, that'll be very encouraging for you, despite how it looks. Now, in terms of advice, I'm going to, I would advise you to be infinitely curious about things. You're learning. We can give you a kilogram of learning, but it takes 10 kilograms of your common sense to apply that learning, and it is really only good if you apply it. And this is what your colleagues, your fellow students, and the faculty are here for, is to help you apply that that knowledge that we're going to share with you. So please just let your curiosity loose. Ask questions about everything, and have a great semester. I'm so excited and looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much. Awesome. And Rob.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Rob Coble. I will be doing the AC 130 first semester accounting and business math for the online students, and a smattering of other first year courses, primarily for the in-person students. It's fantastic to be back, as John was saying, not only for us to be in a classroom and see students live and in the hallway, but our colleagues, our fellow instructors. It's been a little over a year since I've seen a lot of these people in the flesh. My office mate, Angie, it's been a little over 2 years since I've seen her in person. So it's great. It's like starting all over again, brand new. So it'll be amazing. For the second year students who are going to hopefully be on campus this year, we didn't have a chance to see them live or in person last year either. So it's going to be really exciting this year. And I hope you all have a good time with it. My one bit of advice, and this isn't to contradict what everyone else has said, but have some fun, have some balance, have some non-scholastic activities. Meet some people. This is the big opportunity. Most of the lifelong friendships that you guys will have will come from college. So start fostering some of those and enjoy your time at Lakeland, in person, online. Even if you're online, you can still connect with classmates, and I would strongly suggest doing that. So welcome, and let's have a great year.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rob. All right. I think that's it for instructors today. We do have a few more instructors that were unable to be with us today, unfortunately, but we do definitely encourage you guys to get to know them in your classes and or reach out if you guys are online. Just so you guys are aware, their names are Roxine, Olu, Ken, and Doreen. I don't think I'm missing anyone, right? Awesome. All right. So perfect. So thank you so much for introducing yourselves, guys. And now for all of you guys that attended Early Bird, we're really going to kind of start getting into the bulk of the information here. So if you just give me 1 second, I'm just going to share my screen. The other thing I just wanted to mention before I do so is I just wanted to let you guys know to continue to keep your mics muted and your cameras off, just so that there's less distraction and you're able to see exactly everything that's going on and hear everything that's going on. There will be time at the end for questions, and you guys are definitely welcome to unmute and turn your camera on if you guys are comfortable. If not, you can definitely utilize the chat and put some questions in there, and we'll answer those at the end as well. Awesome. All right, well, so with that, I'm going to share my screen. Perfect. I just need to, there we go. Can you guys, just a couple of you, maybe put into the chat to make sure you guys can see that screen? I can see it. Perfect. Awesome. Great. All right, guys, so let's, with that, we'll get started. So again, welcome to our registration information for business. You guys will be able to get all the information that you guys need from here. So again, we've talked about this a couple times, but today is really about being prepared, and preparation is the key to success. I don't think that's something that's new or that you haven't heard before, and you guys are doing the right, you guys are taking the right steps by being here today and getting prepared and getting all the information that you guys need. All right, so with that, in this presentation, we're going to talk about roles, the student handbook, sorry, important dates, grades, what classes look like, college services, technologies, academic honesty, goals, how is college different maybe than what you're used to, and what happens next, and any other questions along the way. All right, so the first thing I really want to talk about here is our roles. So the one person I haven't had the opportunity to introduce yet is our administrative assistant, Cassandra Kirkland. Cassandra, would you mind just waving to everybody for a second? If you'd like to introduce yourself as well.
Hi everybody, I'm Cassandra. I'm sure I've conversed with most of you either by email or by phone to make appointments with Brandy. I am the administrative assistant for the department, so I'll help with things like scheduling appointments with Brandy or Ben if you have any meeting requirements for the chair. And I can usually help answer your questions or at least point you in the right direction if you need assistance with anything. So I look forward to seeing all of you at some point over the next week or so.
Awesome, thanks so much. So she just introduced herself completely and said everything I was going to say. So yeah, she can be your first point of contact and help you with booking appointments as well, and direct you in the right place to go depending on what you are needing. So awesome, thank you so much, Cassandra. The next person I'm going to talk about is me. And I believe either through emails and or meeting with me, most of you guys have had at least the opportunity to recognize who I am or what I am within the department. So again, my role is the academic advisor. Essentially, the two main roles that I provide for you guys is to provide as much information as I can so that you guys will be able to have all that you need in order to make the best decisions for your guys' academic careers and also going forward. The other thing too is that we work together as a partnership to be able to get you into the classes that you need and want to be in order for you guys to be eligible to graduate with the programs that you are in as well. So some of those things that you and I might chat about via email or in person or whatever the case may be might include stuff like course selection, course drops, withdrawals, program changes, transfer credit if any applies to you, or and then I can also be an additional point of contact for any questions related to your programs or any situations that arise or anything like that. You've also, earlier you got the opportunity to meet the chair of business, so Ben. So not only is he one of our awesome instructors, but he, as he mentioned, he oversees the faculty and the rest of our instructors and leads our team. And he will also, if there's any situations that arise or anything like that, he'll help us out with any of those. And then also our dean, Brad Onifrichek, the gentleman that spoke at the very beginning, he oversees all of business. All right, so I sent out a registration day email to everybody that had, a good chunk of some registration day information as well as the handbook. The handbook is your everything. So if you don't remember anything, if you don't remember much from today, or it's just lots of information and overwhelming or anything like that, not to worry. All your information is going to be in the student handbook. We highly, highly recommend that is something that you refer to. You can even refer to the handbook for different answers to questions rather than maybe emailing us, and especially during busy times waiting for us to answer back, just because it can be super busy as we're helping as many students as we can at once. So the handbook is always the best place to go to, because you're likely to get an answer there more quickly than you would, especially during a busy time. So the student handbook, and also the other thing I do want to mention is it's also on the My Lakeland app, if you guys have seen that yet. If you haven't, you'll get the opportunity to download it onto your guys' smartphones or iPads or whatever that you guys might have. So something to be aware of, that it's super accessible on that app. I also sent you a copy in that registration day email as well. So some of the things that are included in that handbook are dates, contact information, and services. So that's nice to have, like, access to certain emails. If you're not 100% sure how to spell somebody's name or an instructor's name, you can reach out to find that contact information. Program specific information in business. It can be, we also will, it talks about computer access along with any other technology and other accesses that you'll need. Grades, obviously super important. Department information, college services, and again, faculty, and then so much more. So please definitely utilize that handbook. At the back of it, and as I've kind of mentioned, at the back of the handbook, it has things like department information, college services, and faculty contact information. So definitely utilize that as well. So I want to move on to important dates and what they are and what they mean. So the first one is the last day to add. So, well, I guess the very most important one is the registration day on September the 7th. Now, for those of you that are attending today, you don't necessarily have to attend the advising session at 9:30 on registration day, but you can still come on and see those activities throughout the day as well. If you guys happen to be on campus, you guys are totally more than welcome to be part of that. But then the next important day here is the last day to add. So what does that mean? Maybe you guys chose maybe 3 courses, and you go to classes for the first week or first few days, and you're like, you know what, this is feeling pretty good. I could actually probably add an additional class. You guys can come and see me or email me, and you guys can add an additional class as long as it fits within your schedule and there's room and those kinds of things. So that that day would be the last day to add. Beyond that day, we would not be able to add you into any more classes, because we'd kind of deem it at that point you've kind of missed too many days to do so. So that would be the important day to add any more classes if you feel that that's something you would like to do. On Monday, September 27th is the last day to drop courses, and you would receive a full withdrawal and a full refund. So what does that mean? So if you've got, say, 5 classes and it's really busy, or you think it's a lot, or whatever the case may be, or maybe something comes up, and you get a first about 2.5 weeks to get a good feeling for how is this going for you. Is it a little bit much? Do you think going down to 4 classes would be better for you guys, allow you guys to be more successful? Whatever the case may be, maybe something comes up in your life that 4 classes would be better, or 3 classes, or depending on how many you want to drop. So that is the last day to drop courses, and you can get a full refund for it. And what this also means is that the class would be wiped from your transcript as if you've never taken it in the first place. And so that's definitely a date to keep in mind, because if you withdraw after that day, after September 27th, then you would get a W on your account, like a withdraw grade on your account, and you would not receive a full refund. So I just something that I want you guys to be aware of. Okay. Awesome. All right. So Monday, November 8th. So this is the last day to withdraw with a W grade. So in correlation to what I just mentioned, anytime from September 27th and earlier, you get a full refund, nothing is recorded. From September 28th to November 8th, if you were to drop any classes during that time, there would be no refund, but you would receive a W on your class, on your account. So you no longer have to attend that class if you were to drop. However, there would be no refund, and you would receive a W on your account on your transcript, meaning that it shows that you withdrew from the class. The other important part of that last day too, or that deadline to withdraw, is that you can also have the opportunity to change from credit to audit. What does that mean? Well, that means maybe you're going through the class and you're kind of feeling like you're struggling a little bit. You've done what you can do in terms of reaching out for help, those kinds of things, and you just feel, you know what? Maybe it would be a good idea for me to withdraw from the course, or to not completely finish the course, but I can change it to an audit grade. So an audit grade means it won't affect your GPA, but it also means that you can continue attending the class and going through the information, and then with the intention of redoing the class maybe in a future semester. And because you've stayed in the class the whole time, you get and you've had the opportunity to go through all the information, you can do that class again in a future semester, and you'll feel so much more prepared for it. So again, that's a date to keep in mind with the credit to audit. Now, it's completely up to you in that case. If you decide to completely withdraw from the course, you no longer have to attend. If you want to change from credit to audit, then you can still attend and get some information as you need, but you won't be officially graded at the end of the semester. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any more specific questions, by all means, you can definitely reach out to me. And then after, the one thing I do want to note though is after November 8th, so starting November 9th and onwards, if you guys were to withdraw, and we'll talk about this a little bit more with other grades in the next slide here, you guys would receive a WF. So the November 8th is very, very important, because after that date you would get a withdraw fail grade, and that's not something I would like to see you guys receive. So definitely please keep those dates in mind. And then Friday, December 17th is the last day of semester 1. And so you'll have 14 weeks of classes, and then your very last week, December 13th to 17th, you have no classes, but it'll be your exam week that week. So something to be aware of. And then when you do your last exam, if you have a last exam on the 17th, you'd walk out of that exam and you are done. Now, the other thing I want you to be aware of is there's also similar dates in the January semester as well. Those again will be on website, handbook, etc. So please keep an eye out on those. They'll be kind of in that first week, again, the last week to, the last day to add courses. About 2.5 weeks later, there'll be last day to withdraw, etc. So please be aware of those dates. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit more about grades and what do they mean. So Lakeland uses a 4-point GPA system. So you'll see here in this grade strip that you'll receive letter grades on your transcript for different classes. So for example, if you got a B+ on in one of your classes, that means you got anywhere between an 80 and an 84%, and that associates with 3.3 points. Now, if you were only taking one class and you got a B+, that means your GPA would be at a 3.3. However, if you're taking more classes, then we can kind of calculate it accordingly. So we'll just use 2 classes as something simple to kind of go through. So let's say you have one class that you got a B and another class that you got an A-. Okay, so that B you'll see associates with 3 points, and that A associates with 3.7 points. Okay, now every class that you take is worth 3 credits each. So if you are taking 5 classes and you have 3 credits each, that means you are attempting and potentially completing 15 credits by the end of the semester. So because every class is worth 3 credits, you want to multiply those points in each class by 3. So for example, we'll use the example of the class that you potentially got a B in, therefore 3 points. So you would times that 3 by another 3. So 3 times 3 equals 9, right? Again, you would do the same thing with the points in the A-. So 3.7 times 3 equals 11.1. So now you've got 9 points and 11.1 points with those 2 classes. You would add those together which equals 20.1 points. And then you would divide it by the amount of credits that you are attempting. So again, remember each class is worth 3 credits. So if you're, and in this example, if you're taking 2 classes, you would divide it by 6 credits, 3 and 3, right? So if you divide 20.1, divide it by 6, you get 3.45 GPA. So I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of how that works. And the nice thing about having an understanding or a brief understanding of being able to calculate your GPA is that you can kind of give yourself an opportunity to calculate your GPA and see how you're doing overall. So it really can be a very big benefit to students. Now, I don't expect you to remember everything I just said. Where can you get it again? In the handbook. So just remember definitely that you can remember, get instructions on how do you calculate it in your handbook. Now I kind of want to talk about a few more letter grades that we spoke about. So one of them is the withdraw. So again, that withdraw, that means when you get a W on your transcript, it means you dropped a class because you decided not to pursue it and you dropped it after that last day to, that last day to drop with a full refund. So that means you would get a W on your transcript on that particular class or classes, depending on what you decided to drop. Now, the nice thing about the W is it does not affect your GPA. So that's something to be aware of. However, you'll see the next one there is an F grade. That obviously will affect your GPA. It'll bring your GPA down. And so we don't want to see those. We want to see you guys be successful. So we'll talk about, strategies and things and services at the college that can help you be more successful to avoid any fails, obviously, down the road here, but just something to be aware of. The WF grade means that you withdrew past that November 8th deadline. So after November 8th, you can no longer get a W, you would receive a WF, and essentially it works the same as kind of like a fail. So if you guys are kind of getting close to that November 8th date and you're just not sure, come and talk to me about it, and we can, because we would like to prefer to get you a W rather than a WF for sure. But obviously the most important thing is if you guys have the opportunity to do well in your classes and be supported by instructors and be supported by some of the other college services that we have so that we can do our best to help you be successful. We want you guys to talk to us as early as possible. The other grade I really want you to avoid at all costs would be the required to withdraw. So if you guys don't be skipping all your classes, do your very best on your courses, that kind of thing, because and primarily it takes a lot of work to be required to withdraw. So we definitely don't want to kick you out of our classes for any reasons, but so please attend your classes, those kinds of things. That's because we don't want to kick you out of any classes whatsoever, because it also associates with an F and could bring down your GPA. So those are just some of the letter grades beyond the A through D that I want you to be aware of. All right, hopefully that makes sense. All right, so we want to talk about college services, and we have plenty for you guys. So we'll start with student services. Most of you are probably familiar with student services at this point, especially with admissions within student services. You guys would have been in contact with them. So student services is a wide array of services, and I would refer to student services is kind of the heart of the college, where you're going to get most of your questions answered or be directed in the right direction anyways. So I put the number there, obviously, that you'll be able to kind of talk to somebody, and if you're not 100% sure who you need to talk to, you can explain your situation and they'll be able to best direct you accordingly. But other services that you can get is ID cards, definitely. You'll be able to request your transcripts. You can talk to somebody about financial aid. You can get general questions answered or get direction on maybe where you need to go to get certain questions answered. And I know a lot of you might require confirmation of enrollment letters. You can also contact them to request that as well. So, and then of course there's lots of other services that they can provide. So definitely you can do that along the way. All right, the next one I really want to talk about is the Learning Commons. So this is kind of this is also a very big department full of many different services as well. For those of you that are able to come on campus this afternoon, you will have the opportunity to kind of see where they are located and kind of hear a little bit more specifically about what they do. But yeah, so we'll just kind of start accordingly. So some of the services that they do offer is tutoring, and I'm going to take just a small second and talk about tutoring. It's a really great opportunity to get the additional help for your classes, and the nice thing is it's totally an in-house program, and you can be part of it whether you need a tutor or require a tutor or you want to be a tutor. So actually, if you're comfortable in some courses and you're like, yeah, I can totally do this, I could totally help others and I can get paid for it, go and talk to the Commons and talk about the possibility of tutoring and say, hey, you know, I'm actually feeling really good in accounting, you know, and I would love to be a tutor for other people. And you can actually sign on to essentially be an employee to tutor other students, which is a really great opportunity. And if you need, or if you think that you would require a tutor for some classes, please go and talk to them and say, hey, I'm just kind of struggling a bit. I think it would be really beneficial to get a tutor. Totally take advantage, go and talk to them, just, you know, and you can kind of get signed up to have a tutor. Don't ever feel ashamed about getting a tutor. A tutor is absolutely fantastic and can make such a big difference. So I actually was I am an alumni of Lakeland College Business myself, and I was a big part of the tutoring service at that time. It was called something different, but it was still tutoring. And this is what I did. So there was a couple courses that I actually genuinely struggled in, and I actually went and got a tutor for myself. And then there was courses that I actually felt a lot more confident in, and I was actually also a tutor for other students. So it really gets you a great opportunity to, you know, meet people. It was also something that I could add to my resume as a tutor. I got paid for it, which was really awesome. So, you know, being a tutor there's nothing shameful in either requesting one or being one or anything like that. It's actually a great opportunity to allow you to be successful. So definitely be aware of those services. There's also definitely things like counseling, which is absolutely awesome. Accessibility services, if there's any concerns there. Student supports and other resources. Like there's a whole ton, like, you know, if there's any like any specific disabilities or test anxiety or whatever the case may be, there's anything from strategies or getting help with that. There's so many different things that they can provide. I can't even begin to name it all because they're the experts on it. Wellness, there's also Indigenous supports. We also have an Indigenous student lounge. For those of you who don't know, we have a student lounge for everybody. We also have an Indigenous student lounge that we always encourage everybody to check out. And then, of course, even just general help in the library. Maybe you're finding some books, or you're finding you're needing help with the finding databases and stuff like that. Like totally. There's so many different services and so many people within the Commons that have expertise in different areas that can be of help. So always definitely utilize them. And if you're not even 100% sure what you need, give them a call and say, you know, just feeling like I need a little bit of help or direction, and, you know, who can I talk to, or whatever the case may be. So definitely utilize the Commons for sure. Obviously, we have IT. Now, again, you'll be able to see a good chunk of that information in your handbook. So their office is available in room 2067, which is just off the library. However, you don't necessarily need to come up to them all the time. As you can see, there's a phone number there that you can contact them if you do need help. But again, I would really highly recommend to reach out to the handbook first, because there's a lot, especially when it comes to login information or login concerns. You can easily be able to help yourselves with that, so that, yeah, you're just not waiting, you know, for additional help, whatever, you know, over login situations that you could easily just figure out right then and there. So again, always refer to your handbook, but they are always there to help with those kinds of things. If depending on what you may need help with, you will need to provide like student ID. And then also, as you'll see, there's printing services, media services, that maybe for your projects that they can maybe help you with or set you up with, or whatever the case may be. They can help with accessing D2L, and also things like Microsoft Teams if we're having any trouble with this. Obviously, you guys were all able to get in today, so this is great. And then moving on, we have something that's actually relatively new or kind of rebranded is our career and employment services. So this is actually a really awesome opportunity for students to kind of be connected with potential employment and or skills for employment purposes, which is absolutely cool. So one of the things that they do for sure is they set up things like job and career fairs. There's usually one each semester that we definitely encourage you to attend. Some may be in person, some might be virtual. So just be aware of what's kind of going on. You can always check out their pages online to do so. Definitely check out their job board. So actually we do have a lot of companies that contact us and we'll put a posting out for employment purposes. So you can definitely see what's available there. And the other things that they do in other such services is they provide opportunities for you guys to really enhance your skills as well. So I'm going to use the example of Power Hours that they did last year. It was a really neat opportunity. What they did is they got some different speakers in different areas from Canada and the States that had expertise in certain areas. So for example, the first Power Hour that they did last year, they brought a lady in that has a huge expertise in resume writing. And it was not only for students, but it was for staff as well. So I got the opportunity to join that and listen to her presentation and hear about how to, boost your resume and make yourself look that much better and those kinds of things. And just as an example, I have been working for the college for upwards of about 7-8 years now, and in different roles throughout the way. And so I thought, I must have a pretty decent resume if I'm still here and I've had the opportunity to do a couple different roles. And when I watched her presentation, my jaw just dropped. I couldn't believe how much that I learned about being able to boost my resume, even though I've been here for so long. So it's a great opportunity. If they do something similar, they will try and provide those different kinds of things for you guys so that you guys can increase your skills and be that much more accessible to, employment opportunities and those kinds of things. So definitely keep an eye out. The other thing is that I will also email lots of opportunities to you guys that I'm aware of as well. So definitely always keep an eye on your emails because Lakeland might send some information. I'll send information as the advisor, so something to be aware of there. Lastly, I just kind of want to mention security. So for those of you on campus, you'll see security on the Lloydminster campus right in those front doors there. They're there to help you if anything comes up for sure. So if you guys are living in residence and you locked yourself out, I've done that many times. I've done that in my office quite often. You can reach out to security and ask for help. If there's any obviously concerning situations that arise, please reach out to them as well. You can even plug their number in your phone. That's something that I would recommend as well. Let's say maybe you're studying really late and your car's way out at the end and you're just really hesitant. You can call them and ask them to walk you out to your car to help you feel that much safer. They're there to help you guys and us feel safe. So I just want you to be aware of that. All right. Perfect. All right. So I'm sure this is kind of pieces of the information, or a big part of the information you guys kind of wanted to find out today. So what do different classes look like? So we'll start with the online classes. Most of you that I've chatted with should be relatively aware, but we're going to kind of go through this again for sure. So again, what do they look like? Online classes have no scheduled lectures. So this means that you won't have to come onto campus to attend any lectures. There will be no online lectures that you need to stress about getting there on time or anything like this. So something like this, you don't have to get on at certain times, especially if you have work or job or whatever the case may be. You don't have to stress about getting to anything online. You work it's kind of essentially a self-paced course as long as you're completed by the end of December. So just make sure that you keep in regular contact, kind of like the instructor said, keep in regular contact with them, keep an eye on deadlines along the way, you know, whatever those case may be. And the nice thing is you just get the opportunity to work on it as you need. So if it's better for you to work on them in the evenings, or maybe you're a morning person, or maybe you do a whole lots over the weekends, you know, that kind of thing. That the nice thing is you're not required to be at any specific lecture time. You definitely have the ability to reach out to your instructors, as they've mentioned, but you can reach to them via email. Maybe you can contact them and maybe create like a Microsoft Teams meeting if you're maybe out of town, if your concerns are maybe need a little bit more attention rather than just some quick email questions. But yeah, you definitely have the ability to reach out there to your instructors. The more that you do the best that you can to learn the information and the content, the more that they are totally there to and willing to help you. So definitely reach out to them. They are there to help you. So some of the things that you will use is D2L. We'll talk about D2L in a few more slides down the way. So D2L is like your learning management system, and that's where all your course content is going to be, and it is a little bit different than your My Lakeland, and we'll talk about those a few slides down the way. Another thing that you might use depending on the class is an online platform called Ripen. Again, this is something that we will talk about. And Ben, at that point, so you were aware, I'm going to call on you just to maybe talk a couple minutes about that. We also, depending on the classes or whatever, you may have the opportunity to use Microsoft Teams for appointments or whatever the case may be. So definitely, now that you've had the opportunity to try out Microsoft Teams, you understand how this kind of works, which is a great opportunity for you. And the awesome thing about you being able to use this technology along the way and being online is the fact that you're becoming so much more you're going to have so many more skills, especially when you go out there, when on your resume that you have experience in all these programs and that kind of thing. So I'm super excited for you guys for that as well. All right, so for those of you that are kind of either half online and half in person, or depending on the class, or you're completely in person, your classes are going to starting to look relatively back to normal. So this is awesome. So you will have scheduled lectures on campus. You will be able to see your schedule on your My Lakeland account, so that you'll be able to see which class and what time, and also which room accordingly. Now, one thing I do want you to be aware of is that as of this time, there are no major restrictions on campus. However, due to the fact that we are still, kind of in the exiting of the pandemic is still here. We want you to be respectful to other people's decisions. If you choose to wear a mask, by all means, you are totally welcome to wear a mask. If you are, attempt to social distance that much more, by all means, we are here to encourage that. We want everyone to feel safe while they're on campus. Hand sanitizing, all those kinds of things. We definitely encourage that 100% for sure, because we don't, as much as things are getting better, we still want to do our best to keep everyone safe and, and avoid any transmission of that. D2L, so some of the things you will use as well is, again, D2L and or Ripen, depending on, again, the classes that you are taking. So awesome. All right, so My Lakeland account. So a lot of you, if not all of you, should have had opportunities to log into your My Lakeland by now. So your My Lakeland is essentially, is essentially your student portal. So you'll be able to go on and see your contact information. You'll be able to view and pay fees on there. You'll be able to go and get your T2202, I don't think it's A anymore, I apologize, but it's your income tax form for your September to December semester. You'll be able to go on at the end of February and go and print that off for yourselves when it becomes tax time. So again, contact information, and we really, really highly encourage you to change your contact information and address if there's anything that changes. The other thing to really keep in mind is if we have your parents' let's say we have your parents' number, we would love you to change it to your number so we can contact you directly rather than having to go around it through your parents all the time, right? So that's something that can be helpful as well. So we highly, highly, highly encourage you to always make sure that your up-to-date information is on there so that we have the best communication here. All right. You'll also be able to see, once you kind of got a semester under your belt, you'll also be able to see like your official grades from your previous courses. So essentially kind of like your unofficial transcript. And also you'll be able to see your timetable. So again, which I mentioned earlier, room, your time, the instructor, if you're on a wait list or not, and then once it's eventually posted, your exam schedule. So please definitely keep an eye out on all of that. One thing I do want to mention is that usually in the first couple weeks, sometimes there are a few classroom changes. So definitely keep an eye on room changes for that reason. All right, and then I did see at the bottom of the screen here, I did post a picture essentially. So that you'll see there at the bottom, it's actually a screenshot of the top of the website, and I circled where you can actually find those links and the My Lakeland link essentially. This is just a picture of kind of a version of what you'll essentially see, especially the enrollments there, and you can go and find your schedule and what you're enrolled in and those kinds of things. Now, your login, you're probably, again, already aware of this, but maybe something to write down if you guys got a pen in your hand right now. Your login for your My Lakeland is your student ID number. So definitely keep that in mind. And then your password is your email that you would have received from your email from Lakeland College. Once you log in, please change it. All right, D2L. So this is the learning management system I mentioned earlier. This is where you're going to see all your courses that you are enrolled in with your course material. So My Lakeland tells you what courses you are in. D2L gives you all the course material and the class, the PowerPoints, or whatever the instructors post for you guys. You'll be able to see all that information in your D2L. So again, course materials and notes, the opportunity to submit probably all or some assignments via D2L. Communication and notices from the instructor. Attendance will also be on there. Kind of unofficial grades throughout your semester, maybe on different assignments and exams and those kinds of things. And then also once the exam schedule has been created and posted, you'll be able to see that on your D2L as well. Username for that. So you guys would have received an email. You guys have receiving an email, I apologize, that you guys can utilize here at Lakeland College. So it is your first name dot your last name at edu.lakelandcollege.ca. So that would be your username to log into D2L, and your password is capital L, capital C, exclamation mark, and then the last 4 digits of your student ID number. Again, when you get in, change the password. Perfect. All right, Ripen. So Ripen is a technology that we are being sponsored to use this year, which is really exciting for students. And it's a platform that brings students, educators, and employers together. So I'm going to just turn the time over to Ben for a couple minutes, if that's all right, to talk a little bit more about Ripen.
Hello?
Hello, everyone, once again. Now, this semester, some of profs are using Ripen to provide you with some very innovative projects. What is Ripen and how does it work? Ripen is like eBay. It brings buyers and sellers together. In this case, Ripen brings businesses and colleges and departments like ours together. Businesses bring their projects, their internships, sometimes virtual, and colleges bring courses, profs, and students, and we meet together on Ripen. So what happens when we meet? what happens is we at the college level select projects that we think will be fun for our students. The businesses, on the other hand, provide projects and suggestions that they think our students would really like. And this combination is what has helped a lot of our students take part in some really, really engaging projects. And that is something that we are most excited to present again this year. I would meet with these business representatives. I will have a chat with them, and then they would say, okay, Ben, here's the information we want your students to know about our business and about the project. And I will record this conversation. I'll make it available to our students, and then they would get to choose which business they want to work with. What I want to share with you briefly is I want to share a couple of things. Number one, I want to start off by sharing. Okay, I think my sharing has been disabled, Brandy, but okay, bearing that, I can still continue and tell you a bit more about Ripen. Essentially, we know that working on live projects, working with real businesses allows students to get a taste for what life would look like when they go to work in industry after their studies. And so it's really exciting that we give you the opportunity to do so. Okay, I should be able to share now. Let me see which of my windows I'm ready to share. Okay, so the first one here is this Ripen page here. So at Lakeland College and then Business Department, I have a number of courses that businesses are able to invite students to take part in. One of these is e-commerce, which the project actually starts September 26th and ends December 14th, and also sales consultancy in salesmanship next year. What we have done in the past, we finished sales consultancy last year, and we also completed e-commerce last year. Let me show you briefly what we did in e-commerce last year. You will see that we closed this last year. The course is not accepting projects anymore. But what kind of projects did we get involved with? We worked with this business from St. Albert's. We work with All for Life Inc., HICO. This is out from the United States, and also from California, Omid Jeffrodi's American Horticultural Supply. In e-commerce here, website development, this business wanted us to create a website for a range of organic projects. So they gave us their project scope, and they said they wanted us to conduct a needs analysis, determine what platform is suitable, create a design proposal, including mock-ups, budget and timeline, build a fully functioning website, provide training and updating and maintain the website. Our students did more than this. They did way more than what the business was actually expecting. And that is exciting because when students work with a real business like this, it is really, really exciting for these students to demonstrate what they can do for the real business. So as we prepare for this year, I have been having some ongoing conversations with a number of businesses. And one of these is, let me see if I can share this video here. I have it ready. I do not want to update this one here. Just bear with me 2 seconds. So this was a conversation I had with a business called CMXI Corporation, based out of Texas and Florida. And let me see how quickly I could share this with you. Okay, I'll perhaps just go to my OneDrive and pull this from there. Just bear with me 2 seconds. So essentially, Ripen is a great opportunity for us to get our students to work on some really cool projects that they really enjoy, or they've told us they really look forward to. Let's go in here. Project videos. No, I just can't get this from here.
As Ben's grabbing the thing from his file there, one of the things I just kind of wanted to mention along with Ripen is, as he explained, you're essentially doing projects for real live businesses. And one of the things that I really want to encourage you guys to do in checking this out is that by doing these projects, you're doing work integrated learning while you're here at college with real business. It's something you can add to your resume, something that you'll be able to gain experience with while you're here taking classes as well. So this is like a super cool opportunity for you guys. And even if you guys are in classes that maybe don't utilize it as much, there's also a program called Level Up that gets you some opportunities to check out some projects as well that you can actually potentially get paid for. So I can definitely send out more information at a later time for you guys, but just something I want you to be aware of for sure.
That's awesome, Brandy. And can you confirm you can see this video?
Sorry, yes, I can.
Okay. And tell me if the sound also works. Of August 2021. I'm here with Jimmy Mack. Jimmy, why don't you tell us who you are?
Sure. So my name's Jimmy Mack. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called CMXI Corp. We're out of Toronto, Ontario, and Vancouver. And then we have offices in St. Pete, Florida, and Panama, too. Our forte is building technologies. Our biggest, newest adventure is an e-commerce marketplace platform like Amazon, but for motorsports, and it's called RacerX. When I reached out to Ben, one of the things that was appealing is he had a project that was narrow focus. It wasn't too tough. And I thought, you know, it might be kind of fun for the students to create something that they could put together relatively easily. If they need support, they can come direct one-on-one to me because I've actually got a little bit of experience in doing just that. And I could support their questions or even some of the development if they get stuck. And then at the end of the line, when they just plug in the integrations, they'll have a solution that if they wanted to use it for fundraising for your own school, start at the end and we work backwards from the end towards the beginning. So here's what we want as a result in the very end. And then in order to get there, we need to create a Wix or a Square type, you know, plug and play type simple website, the integrations like Aweber or MailChimp, some of the autoresponders that, you know, follow up with the.
Okay, so what you see there is a conversation with a business partner. And I record these videos. When my students come to class next week, they get to watch all these videos and then they get to choose which real live project they want to work with. And you put it on your resume and you say, that business over there, www.whatever, I created that website and I created this thing for them. That speaks volumes. So one of the big things we do here that we are really proud is we give you these opportunities to work with real businesses, practice your skills. So when you go out there looking for work, you stand out and you are unique. So I can tell you a whole lot more about Ripen and take up the rest of your time, but I guess I'll be able to just let you know that I'm around. Come and talk to me. Even if your course doesn't have a live project, we can find you and a few other students, if you want to work in a group, a live project that you really want to do. And we will support you in that regard. So please feel free and get in touch. Brandy, was that good enough?
That was fantastic. Thank you so much. Yeah, we just really wanted to show you guys, this new Ripen technology platform that we've been utilizing for students and how much of a benefit it can be. Again, using it as a work integrated learning opportunity while you're here at college and getting those resume experiences essentially. So that's awesome. I'm super excited. All right, so I'm just gonna share my screen here so that we can continue on with the rest of our information. Oh, sorry. Trying to get everything popped back up here. Perfect. Okay. Not enough screens here in my office. Awesome. Okay, so continuing on with a little bit more technology that you guys will be dealing with is, for those of you that are on campus, you'll have the opportunity to get Wi-Fi connection on campus. Now, in order to do that, you need to log on into one of our computers here first in order to activate your profile. Again, the nice thing this year is that all the usernames and passwords for most of them have changed so that they're the same. So again, we will, as for the username for your computers, it'll be your Lakeland EDU email, and your password will also be the same. Again, change that password once you've got in. And once you have done that, you'll be able to connect onto Wi-Fi, with your other devices at that point from there on out. So just wanted to give you a heads up about that. All right, so I'm kind of moving on to the Lakeland College app and the different features that it has. So you've got information on events and student life, different features showing campus information, mobile directory. You'll be able to find the wall where there's a student feed. Maybe people ask different questions, buy and sell, especially things like textbooks, if that's something you're looking for. Those kinds of things. So lots of opportunities there as well. And for anyone who's interested with like the COVID information or accessing the handbook, maybe like I've said 3 times throughout this presentation, definitely utilize the Lakeland College application. We would love for you guys to download it. You'll be able to see that, see the little Lakeland College app in the corner on what that looks like when you're looking for it when downloading it. We also have the Lakeland College Safe app, which also has additional features that help you stay informed and keeping campuses safe and those kinds of things. So we definitely always encourage that as well. It has emergency and contact safety information, just staying informed, alerts, those kinds of things. All right, and social media. We definitely have a social media presence as well, definitely on Facebook. We have our Lakeland College Business and Lakeland College Canada pages. We also have Snapchat, as you'll see here in this screen. So you can definitely add us at Lakeland College and be able to see what's going on and keep informed. All right, now we're gonna go into some of the academic honesty stuff. So here we go. Ultimately, the moral of this slide is don't cheat. So just want to talk a little bit more about, cheating and plagiarism and the fact that it is obviously unacceptable. So plagiarism is taking and using of other people's ideas, thoughts, pictures, writing, inventions, etc. as your own. If you're paraphrasing and putting thoughts and ideas in your own words, and you're not citing their work or their intentions, and their intentions, then that is considered plagiarism. Other types of plagiarism and or cheating could include purchasing assessments from the internet, copying friends' assignments and work. Trust me, your instructors see it. They know they've They've had enough experience to know and to recognize this, so just don't do it. Handing in assignments that was completed by somebody else. They recognize that too. Turning in papers that was written for a different class. So just make sure you know what you're turning in, because you don't want to accidentally cause any problems doing that. If you're unintentional plagiarism, so just make sure you're always double checking your work. If you forgot a citation, make sure you want to get that in there, kind of thing. Obviously using work that's not your own, like a picture or anything, without proper citation, and of course cheating on exams. So in my email that I sent to you guys, I actually sent the business form that we ask everybody to fill out, we'll read, and then sign and send back to us. For those of you that may not be on campus, we just ask you to fill it out, and you can send it back to schoolofbusiness@lakelandcollege.ca. Or if you guys, for any of you that are coming on campus, just as a side note, you guys are able to, we'll have some available here where you guys can just fill them out when you guys show up. So, but we do ask every student to fill this out and send that back to us ASAP, or else we might be chasing you down. So please do that ASAP for us. All right, I do want to talk a little bit about goal setting. So again, you guys are here, you guys are getting prepared. I love the fact that you guys are getting your information and everything done and ready to go ahead of time. So what wouldn't make a lot of sense if we didn't talk a little bit about goal setting. So first of all, write it down. That is the biggest key that you can help yourself with, by writing it down. Sometimes if you're just kind of thinking about it, and I've done the same, even just with some goals at home or everything, if I don't write it down, it really doesn't get put into action. So write it down, set a realistic goal to achieve in each class, or maybe an overall grade, or whatever the case may be. And you can definitely utilize tools available to help you achieve those goals. Tools such as utilizing our comments, our other services, reaching out to your instructors, those kinds of things. Other things to help you achieve those goals. So if there's any scheduled tutorials in any of your classes, definitely try to attend as many as you can. Again, needing the learning commons. Maybe on registration day, if you guys are still hanging around, you guys can go around and check out the different services, and you can ask a few more questions specifically about maybe some specific services that you think would be beneficial for you guys. Peer tutoring, what I had talked about earlier, being a tutor for someone else, or requesting a tutor. Programs like Grammarly, can help you avoid plagiarism. Definitely talk to the Commons about that. They can help you with those kinds of things. Talking and being in constant communication with your professors, or checking into office hours if you need additional help as well. Information study groups. You know what? Even you guys can even pull together yourselves. Again, as an alumni, I'll give you some experience of what I've done when I got to know a bunch of my classmates and became really good friends with them. We actually really started to form some study groups, and we would kind of meet, different people would try pulling out different information. We would share with each other within reason of academic honesty, obviously, especially if it's just more study. Those kinds of things. Really, you guys can talk to each other and help each other out and say, hey, well, this is what I studied, that kind of thing. And this, oh, don't forget these concepts, that kind of stuff, as you guys are preparing for exams and things like that. So definitely you guys can help each other out as well. And, kind of as I said, communicate with me, communicate with your instructors, communicate with the business department. Definitely want to let us know what is going on. If you are away, please communicate as to why you are away, because we don't want to see you fall behind. We don't want to, or anything like that. So please communicate. Some of the things I just want to talk to you about how college is different. So some of you would be coming, straight from high school. So, in that sense, one thing to be aware of is that you are now an adult. You are considered an adult now. I think that's what you've been wanting, right? All right, so when you applied, one of the things I want you to be aware of is that you may have given consent to provide academic, financial information to parents or a high school counselor. If you need to change that, please go see student services. So generally without any consent, we can't talk to anyone other than you about your situation unless you provide us consent. If that's something you need to change, please do so and make sure that you do so accordingly. That doesn't mean you need to take people off consent. It's just I want you to be aware of who is on your consent. And if you need to add anybody to your consent, maybe it is beneficial for you to have mom and dad on your consent list, or maybe a counselor, or whatever the case may be. That's totally okay. Just want to make sure that that is up to date so that we are talking to the people that you would prefer us to talk to about your situation or your grades or whatever the case may be. But primarily, other than that, if there is no consent, we are to keep your information private, and that's what we do. Your contact information. I know I mentioned this earlier in the My Lakeland account, but please, this is super important, which is why it bears repeating. Keep your information up to date. If you're no longer using a particular phone number, please change that. I can't tell you the amount of times I go to phone a student and it's out of service because they didn't update their information, or they got an old email and now I can't reach the student. So please keep your information up to date. Attendance. You guys pay to be here. Be here. We want you guys to be here and successful. All right, and then the other thing too that to really be aware of, especially if you haven't had any college experience before, is time management is super, super important. So be aware that you definitely will experience shorter semesters. So you only have 14 weeks until exams, and then your 15th week is exam. It's fewer hours per week, so you definitely have more time on your own to study. As a side note, so typically I've mentioned to most of you that most of your classes, especially kind of in an in-person environment, are about 3 hours per week. Some are maybe 4 or 5, just depending on the course. But if you are attending classes, say 3 hours per week for a particular class, then you would expect to do, an additional upwards of 2 to 3 hours of study for that class as well. That's something that will also help you be successful. But because because only 3 hours per week per class, it allows quite a bit of additional time to study. Be aware of your deadlines. Those are very important. You will lose marks. You will get docked marks if you are not aware of your deadlines. But also at the same time, I'm not here to scare you guys. It's a fresh start. You guys have an opportunity to try something new, and you could potentially thrive at something that maybe you weren't previously good at, or you found a niche somewhere that you are able to grow your skills and grow individually as well. I mean, again, I'll use me as a perfect example. I was probably the quietest girl on campus, and I was so scared of everything, and I was so homesick. And coming to Lakeland and having the experiences that I had through classes and the friends that I had and the different things that I was part of really allowed me to grow big time as a person. And my friends commented on how much I had changed from when they originally first met me to now. So there's so much that you guys can thrive on. You guys might find certain things that you could find that you're really good at and you want to continue exploring, or whatever the case may be. So definitely it's an amazing fresh start for you guys to really learn more about yourselves and be open to any possibilities. So what happens next? All right, so continue to go to class or go into your online classes and work on your classes if you're on the online options. Now, all of you, watch your email. So I, as the advisor, about every 3 to 5 weeks or so, I will send updates to you guys, and I'll say, hey guys, just FYI, your last day to withdraw deadlines are coming up, or there's a job career coming up, and I'll provide you different information for that. Or there's lots of different things that I will or maybe activities that are happening on campus, or whatever the case may be. Again, every 3 to 5 weeks or so, I tend to email out all of you business students information about what's going on through the business department and or the college. So definitely keep an eye on your emails. Definitely always double check your junk mail. I have one of those personal emails that keep going to my junk all the time, and it drives me crazy. You got to figure that out. So definitely always double check that as well, because you always want to be up to date with the most information possible. If you need to talk to me for any reason, you'll be able to email me for sure. I'm always accessible there. Or you can book an appointment, as we talked about earlier, with Cassandra. So you can use Cassandra's email, cassandra.kirkland@lakelandcollege.ca to book an appointment with me. But one thing I really want to note is if you are unwell, please email me, or you can email her to book a virtual appointment, say via using Microsoft Teams or the phone or whatever the case may be. Again, we are trying to avoid transmission as much as possible. If you are unwell, we are definitely asking that you do stay home. While we are on that subject, I do want to just talk just briefly a little bit about COVID. If you guys are experiencing symptoms, please stay home. We want to avoid transmission. Your instructors, myself, Lakeland College staff, same thing applies to us as well. If we are unwell, we will also be staying home. We will reach out to you guys, but we also, if you guys are unwell, we want you guys to reach out to us. We want you to reach out to your instructors, especially. Let them know what's going on and say, hey, I'm just not feeling well. I don't think it's a great idea for me to be in class right now. And they'll be definitely willing to help you catch you up or provide what you need or whatever the case may be. This is definitely a team effort when it comes to avoiding transmission and just making sure that everyone stays well. So yes, definitely, if you are unwell, please stay home. Walk-in appointments I will be having on September 7th. So in the morning is all the orientations for any students that were unable to or didn't come to the early bird orientations. So again, that morning orientation you don't have to be at because you've received it already and you'll be ahead of the game. But in the afternoon, I will start walk-in appointments from 1:30 to 4. And then the following day, which is the first day of classes on September the 8th, I'll start walk-in appointments from 8:45 to 11:45 and then from 1:30 to 4. Please note that I am away on Thursday and Friday, the 9th and the 10th of that first week, but I will be back returning on the 13th. You are definitely able to email me and we'll provide more information on walk-in times once I return at that point as well. So just so you're aware of that. All right, so during this academic year, talk to your instructors, communication. I think we've talked about that several times today. I'm sounding like a broken record. Take advantage of tutorials, extra help, study groups, peer tutoring, etc. Visit the Learning Commons, watch for special events, and meet with me for course changes or questions or any information that you might be looking for. Awesome. Oh, and Ben has put into the chat here, I just want to make a point. Yes, definitely September 23rd, that first session of Speaker's Corner, 12 to 1, and more details to come. I will also add additional emails with that information as well. All right, which leads us essentially to the end of the presentation. You guys have gotten all the information from me. I have talked a long time. Hopefully that you're able to get all the information that you needed. But I'm ready for questions. So again, you can unmute yourself. Perfect, I've already got somebody with a hand up. Or you can put it in the chat accordingly. So yeah, I'll start with, yeah. All right, the first question I see is, do we get notifications if our instructors upload or post something in D2L? Ben, can I have you answer that?
Yeah, it depends on your settings. Usually instructors will let you know that they have posted some course material online. They will tell you in your classes. Some students through their own settings in the course. So when you go into the course, in your settings, you will be able to, in the notifications area, check a button to say, yep, every time there's something new in the course, I want to know, and you'd get a notification. Whether it's grades, assessments, any announcements, you will get that notification. So that is something, a setting you do in D2L under the course settings yourself. And some people like constant notifications. Some people are always on D2L, so they see what's up. And some people just don't want the stress of constant notification. So you get to pick and choose what works for you. Are there any live lectures conducted into classrooms which online students can access? So if the course is a purely online course, then that's a separate thing. But if it's an in-person course, some instructors will, like me, run a live class at the same time on Microsoft Teams or perhaps on D2L. Again, the instructor will tell you in advance that they are going to have a live in-person and live online class. But please note, the default is to have in-person classes, but instructors will do everything to accommodate individual students.
Perfect. Thank you so much. The other thing too, one of our instructors, John, did put something in the chat too that sometimes they don't want to send you too many, so they'll also quite often tell you things in class as well. There was one hand right at the beginning. Manzi, did you want to ask a question? Just give you a second.
I see Anmo Sharma also have their hand up.
Yes, you're well. If you'd like to put it in the chat, you can. If you'd like to unmute your mic, you can definitely.
Hello, is that Anmo?
Hello everyone. Yeah, I'm Anmol. I just wanted to ask, is there any need to be there at 1:30 p.m.?
Oh, you're talking about today?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's completely up to you. So that 1:30 p.m. is an optional thing this afternoon. So if you want the opportunity to get your ID card, pay your fees, get to meet some other students, get a locker, those kinds of things. Maybe I will also have time for you guys to talk to me one-on-one if you've got some specific questions individually. So you're welcome to attend. If not, you do not have to. It is not a mandatory thing.
Okay, so do we need to bring any kind of identifications like college fees receipt and other kind of things?
Like for this afternoon?
Yeah, definitely.
No, you shouldn't need to bring really anything. I mean, if you're planning on paying fees, obviously you'll need something to pay with. You know, as far as identification, no, not necessarily. No, you wouldn't need to bring that unless you're just bringing your wallet anyways. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect.
There's a question here from Paige.
Oh, perfect.
And exams for online students. Again, it would be slightly different for different courses. In some courses, there are specific assessments at specific dates that have to be completed. In my online course, I have, so John explains that also. In my online courses, I have some discussions that have to take place, some assignments that have to be turned in at certain times. So there is a fair bit of clarity for what assessment is needed and when.
Perfect. Sorry, I'm just going to do one more in chat one. The one I got was, is there any major exams aside from the final exam? So that'll be dependent on the class. However, there will be several classes where you will have some midterm exams along the way. You might have quarterly exams or midterm exams or both. So it just depends on your class. Once you attend or check out your online class, you'll be able to see that accordingly. Awesome. I think somebody was going to unmute their mic. I'm going to give you the opportunity to do that now.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
I wanted to ask, what is the last date to submit that form you sent on email?
The last day, as we would like to have that probably done by the end of the first week. Cassandra, maybe I'll let you answer that question, though. You're the one who essentially is handling that.
Yeah, that's right. Typically, we try to get all forms received by the end of the first week of class. So that would be September 10th. And we do ask that if you're submitting your form by email to that School of Business email address that Brandy had sent, please include your full name and your student ID number in that email. It is super helpful for me to be able to track who has submitted their forms, because I will follow up with anybody who doesn't submit their form and send you lots and lots of emails until I get what I need.
Awesome,
And
thank you. Actually, I do want to just make one point that Cassandra made that's really, really important. When you guys email any of us for that matter, so myself, Cassandra, instructors, it is extremely helpful and yeah, it's extremely helpful when you add your full name and your student ID number because we are able to find you so much quicker. Some of you might have emails that doesn't have your name or it's a really hard time to actually indicate who you are and we have no idea who we're talking to when it comes to email. So please, please, please definitely use your student ID and your name. Awesome. Did you have a follow-up question there?
yes, I also wanted to ask you that you were saying no scheduled classes for online. What does that mean? I didn't get that.
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
You were saying that there will be no scheduled classes for online students.
Second year classes? Is that what you said?
No, I said no scheduled classes. That you said there would not be any schedule for the online classes. Schedule?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I fully follow the question.
You were telling us about the online classes, right?
Yeah.
And you said that there would not be any schedule
schedule
for that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so no, there's no scheduled, I apologize if I maybe mixed up a couple words. No, there's no scheduled classes for online students. You just work on it when you go to work on it at your own time. But for students that are in any in-person classes, you will have scheduled classes. Now, there might be some confusion. For any of you that maybe are doing like a couple classes that are online and a couple classes that are in person, at that point, you will have, obviously, your in-person classes will have scheduled lectures, your online courses will not. So it just depends on what you have talked to me about enrolling into or what you have been enrolled into. Does that make sense?
Okay. Thanks.
Perfect. Awesome. I think there was a couple questions I just missed in the chat that I just want to make sure here. So I'm just going to back up for a second. Okay, so there was a question about changing. So you have 5 subjects and can I change them or can I alternate them to 3 or 4? Or yeah, just essentially looking at your schedule. Yeah, so you would have to reach out to me in order to, if you were wanting to drop any classes, maybe you're going down to 3 or 4, or whatever the case may be. So definitely you can email me and we can see what there can be done, but I can't guarantee that I can switch everything for you. Like if you're trying to switch to certain classes, I can't always guarantee that, but you can definitely email me to ask. The next question I got was, how many students are moving into residence today? I unfortunately don't know that. That's not something that I was made aware of. That's something that residence actually does directly. But we actually will be probably having quite a few move in throughout the day over the next today, tomorrow, and this upcoming week. Of this group, though, I wouldn't know. That's more information for them to know. So if there's any of you guys that kind of wanted to meet and you're talking about residence or whatever the case may be, by all means, you can talk to each other about that. But unfortunately, I wouldn't know that specific answer. The next question I've got here is, can we involve in any project in Ripen, even if not required by our instructors? Yes, so that is definitely the case. So again, I'm just going to refer to the Level Up program. I'll send you guys definitely an email with that Level Up information. So you can definitely do projects outside of classes 100%. So again, I'll email you that information about Level Up, how you're able to get into those and check out projects that you can be part of. Again, those can be paid projects as well that you can be part of. So definitely. Let's see. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so when I changed my D2L account, PW, sorry, I'm not sure if I know what that means. Did it change all the other accesses like the Lakeland College student email account? I don't believe so, but that's actually a good question. I'm not 100% sure. I'll probably have to reach out. You know what, whoever asked that, if you guys want to just email me about that, you can definitely reach out to me and I'll get you guys that answer ASAP. Perfect. Oh, exams. Someone asked about how exams work, and I'm interested in that as well. So I guess it depends on what kind of concept we're talking about with exams. So final exams, partway through the semester, a final exam schedule will be created and it will be posted online. So you'll be able to see it on your My Lakeland account, your D2L. We might have some even just on our walls and everything near the business department. You'll be able to see you'll be able to see when your final exams will be. Now, if you do look at that exam schedule partway through the semester and you realize that you might have a conflict with exams, reach out to us ASAP so that we can make accommodations to do so. Exams within classes, so for example, midterms, those will be dictated by the instructors and they'll let you know when those exams are accordingly. If you're in a class and will be away for any reason, what is the best way to go about staying on top of your classes? 100% great question. So first of all, communicate, communicate, communicate. So definitely let your instructors know what's going on. Perfect example, again, for me, in my final year, I actually had a knee surgery. And so I was going to be away for probably upwards of about a week, give or take. Talk to your instructors, let them know what's going on, and then you can definitely ask that question because it might vary depending on the instructor, or depending on what kind of projects you're doing or work that you're doing at that time. But the ultimate answer would be to definitely log into your D2L while you're away, go through any additional material that may have been added. You can continue to study the textbooks and those kinds of things, but ultimately talk to your instructor. They'll be able to kind of guide you for that reason. A side point of that, if you do find out, like sometimes your absences can't always be pre-planned, but if anything comes up, such as a sickness or you've started to feel symptoms, let your instructors know ASAP so that they can help you with that as well, okay? Perfect. So where do we sign up for online classes? I didn't get an email. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just write your name down here and I will reach out to you specifically just to make sure that we got you covered for your classes. But in regards to the first question, if you guys are interested in maybe switching to online, by all means, you can reach out to me, whether through my walk-in appointments or emailing me, and we can look at maybe switching you to online classes if that's something you are wanting to do. Just writing down your name. Perfect. With doing projects outside the class, do you get credits for them? No, they wouldn't. There would not be additional credits for any outside classwork. This would be something that you would do that would be for your added benefit as far as like resumes and experience and that kind of thing. Yeah. Let's see. Do all the online students have to come to campus for exams? No, there will not be a requirement for exams. So things will be done a little bit differently. Your instructors will let you know how exams and or final projects will be done in your case. You will not be required to come to campus. All right, I think I've covered all the ones that came up. For online students, are the classes going to be according to Canadian time? Okay. Yes, I guess is the answer. Now, however, just to not confuse anyone, again, online students, there is no required lectures. There's no time that you actually have to attend any lectures. But if you are maybe meeting an instructor via Microsoft Teams and they send you that that invite for 10 o'clock, it will be for our time here, yes. So that would be something to be aware. But again, if you're an online student, you will not, there's no scheduled lectures you have to attend, so you don't have to worry about any of the timing per se. Does that make sense? Perfect. Does anyone else have any questions? Emma, it looks like your hand is still up. Is this a new question or is your hand just still up from a previous question?
Hi, ma'am.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about the registrations for the 7th September, which we have to make online?
Oh, for sure. So the 7th of September, you guys are also welcome to attend that as well. You guys are not barred from, attending that. So there's a couple things that are going on. I did send a registration day email in regards to it. So again, because you attended this advising session today, you do not have to attend the advising session at 9:30 a.m. on September the 7th, because you've received this information already. However, if you guys are on campus and want to attend the advising session just to kind of go through the information again, by all means, you guys are welcome to do so. We also will have different registration activities hosted by different departments, such as our Students Association. They will be able to be providing some information and some activities. If you guys are moving into residence, there's some activities there, like those kinds of things. I think there's a barbecue that the SA is hosting, so there's lots of different opportunities to, if you guys are here and want to come on campus, by all means. But the nice thing is, because you've gotten this done ahead of time, you guys are ready to go. Maybe you want to use registration days to get the final things done on your to-do list. That's also possible as well. Perfect.
I actually asked, how can I do that online?
Oh,
as
so
I'm in my own country.
There is no way to do it online unless you're paying fees. There is no registration day option for online as well, which is part of the other reason that we offered this today, is so that anyone who is online has the opportunity to get this information today. The biggest thing ultimately is that we want to make sure that you are here. So by you guys attending today and us taking the attendance, we were able to determine that yes, you guys are here, that you guys are coming. And for anyone that was not able to maybe attend today, that's a good chunk of the students will be coming on registration day to let us know that you are here. Because if we don't see you, or we're not able to check you off at one point or another, then there's the potential we might withdraw you, and we don't want to do that. So we'll be reaching out to find out to see if you guys are actually attending your classes, again, via online or in person. So we just want to make sure that you are here. That is the biggest key to registration, besides getting information. Perfect. I did see a thing come up in the chat. What kinds of things will be happening this afternoon at the orientation? So again, you'll be able to meet some fellow students. You'll be able to pay fees, get an ID card, get some books, kind of like some of those different activities. And one of the biggest things too is you'll be able, if there's any questions that you have, I'll be able to meet with you guys kind of a one-on-one while you guys are doing these different things as well. And the other biggest activity that is super beneficial for you guys to be part of is the tour that's going to happen around. So you guys are going to be split into two groups, but I'll explain that for those of you that do come. And you guys will be able to go around the college, know where everything is, get additional information or refresh some information, and that will be huge for you guys. So okay, for those of you who are out of town and online, do you need to come in on September 7th? No, you do not. This is why we had this early bird orientation, so that you guys do not have to unnecessarily travel, especially from a long ways away. Our instructors already posted the schedule in our My Lakeland app. Okay, so just to kind of clarify, because we've got a few different programs. So you have your schedule that you were enrolled into, whether it's on your online classes or in person or a mix of both. Yes, it will be on your My Lakeland. You should be able to see your schedule. It's not necessarily, that isn't necessarily posted by the instructors. That is what you were enrolled in so that you can see your schedule. However, your D2L, again, that learning management system where you're going to see all your course information, updates, notifications from the instructors and that kind of thing, that won't open up for you until the 8th, September the 8th, which is a Wednesday. And so that's when you'll be able to see more specific course information in D2L at that time. So hopefully that's clear. Perfect. For the student that said I'll enroll in person, I'm already aware of your specific situation, and I'll be in touch with you via email, hopefully by today, if not tomorrow. The next question, are there any live lectures conducted in classrooms which online students can access? No, not in in-person classes. Now, some online courses might have some pre-recorded lectures for you guys to see. It'll just depend on the instructor in each class that's doing that and what you'll be and what kind of information that you'll have the ability to access. Starting next week, are we able to come into campus at any time to get our books and our ID? Yes, definitely. You can come in. If you can't come in today, you can definitely come in at any time to get books and IDs and stuff like that. We encourage to get books sooner rather than later, especially when you're getting into your first week of classes there. So just something to kind of keep an eye on. But you can definitely also, when we're talking about books and textbooks, you not only can you get them from like the bookstore, but you can also, if you're online, you can get them directly from the publisher. You can, if you're in the area or in an area around you, you can definitely find maybe secondhand books that other students are selling that will work for your classroom, that are work for your classes. If you need, now I did send the textbook list that had a link to the textbooks online, but you can always just jump online as well, type in business textbooks, and you can be able to access that completely online on the Lakeland College website. Let's see, I hope I didn't miss any. Is school open all day to pay fees and books? The hours available to get fees and books are from 8:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. After 4:30, you will have to wait until the following business day. Now, one thing to keep in mind is student services does have to start closing off usually around that 4 o'clock. And so sometimes even that 4 to 4:30, you might not be able to pay. So you'll want to get in actually more appropriately between 8:30 and 4 o'clock, just so you are aware. All right, there was a lot of questions that came up. This was absolutely awesome. Is there any questions that I hopefully didn't miss? Oh, it looks like we've got one more. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, I just want to confirm, can I select the timing of my classes on my portal? Like, I am a fresh student for business administration and my class is going to be started on 7th September. So is there any availability of, privilege to select the timing of my classes?
You will be, so international students that have been auto-enrolled into courses. If there are concerns, you can reach out to me, but I can't guarantee anything at this point.
Hello?
Hi.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello?
Hi. Do you have a question?
Oh, you can hear me, my bad.
Perfect. All right, do we have any questions? Any last minute questions? We have come to the end of our time. I am thrilled with the fact that you guys were here today. I'm thrilled with all the questions that you guys have. The more questions. Oh, yep.
Richard, you got it.
Oh, did it all work out?
Brooklyn? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, perfect. All right, I think I'll just give like 30 seconds here for any last minute questions. The other thing too is I will send out something here shortly that will kind of go overview everything. But again, remember the handbook is huge for going through any information that we went through today. If you don't quite remember everything, that is totally okay. Are books subject to change for administrative professional? Because I have to still buy. No, there shouldn't be any changes at this point.
As for the books, like, do you actually come to the campus for it, or like I can buy it online too?
The books? It just depends on kind of what's easier for you. If you're out of town and you're doing online, by all means, you can.
I'm in Toronto right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you can. Are you going to be on campus, or are you going to be, or are you going to be taking online?
I want to do online.
Online? Oh, okay, so you can definitely look at when you go and check out the publishers, the different publishers, you can go onto their websites and check those out as well. You can also reach out to your instructors about.
I didn't get the form, like the online registration form. I didn't get that.
The online registration form for what?
Like to enroll in classes, like to do the whole thing online. I didn't get that.
Okay, I've written down your name. I'm going to reach out to you specifically.
count?
I'm going to reach out to you specifically so that I can help you with your specific situation. I won't be able to address that right at this moment.
All right.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, guys. So with that, oh, online students, are we going to need books? Yes, you will definitely need books. So where can you get them? Again, you can get them from publishers. If you have anyone near you that you can buy them from, you can order them accordingly. You can also get in touch with our bookstore. You could order them there. You might just have to be aware of like shipping costs as well from that perspective. All right. So with that said, I'm going to close this up. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. I super appreciate it. From myself and Ben and Cassandra and all the business department, we are really excited that you guys are going to join us today. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to our business department, School of Business at lakelandcollege.ca, or myself. And we'll go from there. All right. And then for those of you that are coming on campus today at 1:30, we will see you at 1:30. We're super excited. Take care, everybody.
For
man.
students who are on Twitter, if they follow our Twitter account, and I'm putting their name in the chat right now, they are guaranteed a follow back.